Let's open up topic 3 on ceilings. Essentially, ceiling elements are similar to floors. They are horizontal planes set at a certain height above the finished floor level and can include layers of material in the construction. And the fastest way to create ceiling is to use the auto ceiling function. Alright, open up this one. Open up O3 ceilings. This exercise here. The command is architecture ceiling. Click on this now, and the automatic ceiling function is actually here. So yeah, straightforward, very nice. Okay, I'm just gonna, you select the ceiling types here also. Okay, on the types, under properties. So alright, I'll select, let's say, this. And then I'm going to click. You see what the automatic ceiling function does is, it's quite clever in that sense. It would see the red line appearing there. When you mouse over it, what it does is it detects the edges, the faces of the walls. As long as they're properly closed up, it will create a ceiling based on that footprint, like that. Alright, so click create. But the moment you do this, Revit gives you a prompt, a pretty lengthy one. None of the created elements are visible in floor plan level 1 view. You may want to check the active view, its parameters and its visibility settings, as well as any planned regions and their settings. Alright, it sounds like a mouthful. But basically, what Revit is trying to tell you in simple English is, hey guys, you created it in the wrong view. What you're drawing right now, you are in floor plan. Floor plan what? Cuts at 1 meter, looks down, right? And you're trying to create a ceiling in level 1, you know. It's there. How would you expect this to be visible at all? Cannot happen. Cannot see it. Then which view must you be in? There is such a thing called ceiling plans here. You should technically, before you even start, you think about, okay, I need to work on the ceiling. First thing you do, you should be looking at the ceiling plans by, okay, opening up the ceiling plans here. We are very, very used to the term called reflected ceiling plan. Alright, by right, it should be labeled as reflected ceiling plan because the reflection, but it's flipped so that it orientates nicely. That's the thing. Actually, it's been created, it's here, but we just don't see it on plan. Okay, because it looks downwards, that's all. Alright, if I need to select the plan, then what must I do? I need to select the ceiling, it's hard to select. What must I do? There's a button I can tap, right? There's a key I can tap so that I can select the thing. What is that key? When you need to make selections, you need to cycle through your selections, you will use the tab key quite frequently in this case. Alright? I'll just show you very, very quickly. Okay, when you need to create ceiling is here. Architecture, ceiling. When you select the ceiling, you can see the types of ceilings already loaded into the project, made available to you at this point. Alright? Next thing is you want to pay attention to this one before you create. You set it up nicely first before you do the rest of the work. You pay attention to height offset from level. Level, which level? No, it is not the FFL, it's not the finished floor level. Although all the time we keep telling you, hey, you take reference off the finished floor level, but no, you take the reference from this, the datum level. Datum level meaning the level line you draw that creates the plan, right? That long line, that one. Because the floor, sometimes you can use an offset. You can move the floor up or down. Offset from base level. That one. So, let's set this value at 2400 for now. Before I begin, let me explain to you what these abbreviations really mean. Do you see down here? This GWB is a short form for gypsum wallboard. Okay, GWB. Now this one, ACT, stands for acoustic ceiling tiles. what you will see in a lot of office setting. You know the grid ceiling, those types, right? That one, acoustic ceiling tiles. Now you see these numbers here, they mean 2 feet by 2 feet, close to 600 by 600. This one is 2 feet by 4 feet, 2 by 4. All right, 600 by 1.2 meters, the closest you can associate with it. Even though we go metric in our real life situation, when you do interior design, the contractors will tell you 2 by 2, 2 by 4, and so on and so forth. Because a lot of things, like for example, the truffle lights, the light fixtures and everything are still created out of those feet sizes, imperial sizes. Because why? Because the tubes, the fluorescent tubes are also created that to fit. Okay, we'll explain more later on. Now you do this part of the work. Now you should take no more than 2 minutes to knock this out. Now why do I say you really do not need more than 2 minutes to do it? Because if I were you doing this part of the work, I will go into the command. I don't really care which type I use. I just look at this and I'll just, because I have automatic ceiling creation method, right? So I'm just going to do this and this. I'm quite done, right? Okay, oh, I over created this, so I'll take this and remove. That's all you need to do, I finish. But then again, you see, I need to create the different types here and so on. This is 2 by 4, this is 2 by 2, etc. After this is done, after this is created, we can actually select these and make the change later on. Oh, I know. Okay, then I can then make the change. Finish. Alright, the thing about this is create first and then change later. The thing about this, I like to use the grid ceilings here. I like to use, when I'm creating ceilings, I like to use this type. I don't really care whether it's 2 by 2 or 2 by 4 as long as I can see it. Because, hey, I know whether this one is created or not created. If I were to use the gypsum wallboard ceilings or plasterboard ceilings, right? I don't really know whether I create or not, and there is a good chance I double create it. Okay, you can, and then you end up double creating again, which Revit would want to warn you as much as possible. Hey, there are identical instances in the same place. This will result in double counting in schedules. We will show you how to prepare the schedules, and it will calculate all these things for you right down to the very last millimeter of material that you will need. In your building quantity exercise, soon you will have to prepare that one, and it's a submission item. Okay, because you need to count money, you need to know how much a project is going to cost. Okay, so this would happen, this will be an issue. Alright, so when such things happen, okay, you better pay attention, and then with this, get rid of everything first and make sure everything is clean, everything is really clean before I would create the correct instance again. Alright, this time now I will get it correct like that. Okay, now next would be, after this is done, I need to create this. Now remember, just now we have to create the floor with a void here somewhere. The void here. I cannot use the automatic ceiling now. If I use the automatic ceiling, it will attempt to define everything, then cannot be done. It's a problem. So can't do this. I will then now have to draw the ceiling in. Okay, I will use the sketch ceiling function. With this, I will use the pick walls again. Again, too lazy to draw, so I'll just pick as much as I can. This one, I really have no choice. I will then sketch them. Okay, I'll just draw. Alright, I'll just draw with this. But with this, I will clean things up. I will just draw a few lines there and attempt to clean it up after that. Alright, I'll just draw the cleaning up as I do this later on. This way. And then with this, and then I like to use the 2 by 4 or 2 by 2 so that I can see whether I've created this correct or not. Now you see, the nice thing about again using this method is also when you have a loop, when you are not creating this drawing carefully. I made a mistake on this, I didn't clean up the lines enough, it won't allow you to close. So again, I need to click continue so I can then mop this part up and clean it up again. Oh dear, still not clean. One more time. Let me see if we can now clean this up nicely again and finish. Still cannot, huh? So one more time and we clean this up. See if we can do this. Now with this, I like to see the internal hatching here, because the grid lines will tell me is this footprint created properly or not. Is the boundary a correct boundary? If it is, then I will change it to the type of ceiling that I would need, like that. That's it. That is the ceiling creation. Next, do you notice though? Do you now notice the ceiling pattern orientations are a bit different, even though the material types are the same? Look at this now. If you look at yours, right, orientation seems to be a bit of a problem. All right, we can reorientate them. We can reorientate this simply by selecting one of these grid lines here and use the rotate command and rotate them by 90 degrees. And we will do the same here, and we can rotate them 90 degrees also, like that. So the orientation is now correct. Try. Okay. You will find that even though you are able to rotate them already, this ceiling is a mess. Why is it a mess? To us, in the interior design practice, at the end of the day, if you look at this, not quite right, because the grids are not properly forming up. It's not properly aligned, okay? So what's going to happen is we will use the modify align command here so that we can align this properly. We can also use the move command to move the grids so that they look like they are more properly aligned upwards, this way. Okay, you can do this. If you are quite creative about the way you do this, my design concept is about tilts and shifts and the unevenness of the grids and all. So things like that can happen. Alright, with this, with the grids in, the grids are not there for hatching or for decorative purposes. No, they are not there for that. They serve a practical function. They serve a practical function because we can begin to insert light fixtures. Now, how to do so? Light fixtures are all components. We can click on this. Okay, here on architectural ribbon, this component drop down list, and click on place a component, this one. Once you click on this, you will be going into these that you can choose. You can choose chairs, okay, cabinets, countertops, dishwashers, refrigerators, and if you scroll all the way down, you will see truffle light. You will see truffle light lenses. And in this case, we are going to use 2x4 4 lamp 270 volts for this. When you do this, when you place this inside, alright, forget trying to get it accurate, okay? The technique to do this is just plonk it in somewhere. I'm not even aiming, I'm just putting it in there first. Put one will do, put one somewhere, alright? And then use the modify align tool to align the lamp or the light fixture to the exact position, like that. And then after this, the more efficient way to do this, then we will use the copy command. Once I use this command, I will pay attention. Hey, am I going to make one copy or I'm going to make many? If I make many, I want to be using the multiple. option here. So I can keep cloning them, right? Clone a lot. So I'm going to use this. Now where I snap will be important, so I'm going to snap to the endpoints here so I can accurately place the light fixtures here. Alright, then I can begin to work on the rest this way. I'll leave it to you. Now, to explain to you what the function is, the ceiling grids are pretty useful at that. Let me show you. What you can do is you can move this. When we move this, the ceiling grid also moves, and also the light fixtures will follow. This one. Alright. Now, as much as possible, as interior designers, we pay attention to the placement of the light fixtures as well. So it only makes sense when we try to centralize it. Does this look centralized to you? No, it isn't. It isn't. Okay, but this is where the problem with lighting location planning comes in. If you look at our room here, if you look at our classroom down here, is the light placement aligned properly or not? Is it properly aligned? If you look at it in relationship to purely the light location to its walls, it looks like, yeah, it's pretty logical, pretty reasonable. Alright? But if you look at it in relationship to the infrastructure here, if you look at it in relationship, now you have a cabinet built here, a fixture built here in relationship to the light fittings already. Now is it still aligned centrally or not? Maybe not. Maybe not, because the cabinet is of such a high height here, and then this one is now being set too close to the wall already. The wall being, hey look, the cabinet fixture being the wall. So problematic. Sometimes what is wrong is actually right. Okay, what is actually right is wrong. Now, this kind of layout, okay, a centralized, for example, a very, very accurately centered lighting location or lighting planning looks accurate or logical or workable only when you don't put anything inside the space. This office cannot obviously be totally empty, right? It's used somewhere, and chances are it's gonna have what, cabinets there, operating desk there, and so on. Okay, so what will be your planning parameters? What will be your design decisions in this case? Do I want to, by looking at your ceiling plans, a seasoned eye looking at your ceiling plan would know your degree of thought and planning put to it. Did you plan this before you think about the furniture layout, or did you plan this after the furniture layout has been established? Because once you start having the cabinets here, the shelvings here, and so on already, okay, do you think it's still centralized? Maybe not. Maybe it's not centralized anymore, okay? So you need to shift it so that it becomes a workable space, or you may even need to reconfigure the lighting locations, the lighting fixtures also at that. So it's something for you to think about your final year project, your FYP. So sometimes remember this as poetically, sometimes the wrong one is the right one, okay, if you look at it carefully. Alright, now I just want to show you, right, let's say if you got this out and things like that already, okay, what can happen is we shift the grids, we tilt the grids a little bit, and so on. Everything will also follow, right? You can look at the creation here by going to view section and slicing a section through this and opening it up. I'll just show you a detailed view of this. Now you see this. This is the created floor slab. This is the ceiling here. And this is the light fixture. It looks like there's another line in between because it is now tilted. I tilt the whole ceiling grid before cutting a section through this. Alright. Now, there is a name for this area here, this empty space down here. This space here is called the plenum space. It's called the plenum space. That is the mechanical and electrical, or called the M&E spaces in between here. You see a lot of pipings, ductings, cable ducts and all there so that it makes the space workable and neat. It will be neat. If we construct the ceilings already, you can't see anything, so it looks like everything is well concealed. Alright, so like that. So that is the plenum space, so to speak. Okay. Done. We can close this.